Namaste, I'm Mike Rosenkrantz, a VSO volunteer, and welcome to Inspirations. Today we'll be interviewing Simon Lewis, who is the director of ADRA, that is the Adventist Development and Relief Agency. ADRA is a global network of independent humanitarian organizations established in 1984 by the Seventh-day Adventist Church for the specific purpose of providing individual and community development and disaster relief. ADRA established an office in Nepal in 1987. ADRA serves people without regard to their ethnic, political, or religious association. ADRA simply helps people in need, especially those most vulnerable, such as women, children, and the elderly. Community is the theme of ADRA's work in Nepal. It is a simple concept, the idea that individuals can live and work together to meet common goals that they believe enables all progress and improvement in an increasingly complex world. For ADRA Nepal, community begins with the employees who work on a diverse range of projects in 20 districts around the country, but quickly broadens to include many thousands of Nepali people from government, non-government, and community-based groups with whom they partner daily to implement development and relief activities. Community does not stop there. It also includes the many ADRA employees working in more than 120 countries around the world, as well as those donors and volunteers, both corporate and individual, who support the work of ADRA Nepal. We'll next be interviewing Simon, and then we'll also go to the field to interview some of ADRA's beneficiaries. Hi Simon, welcome. Good to see you. So talk to us a little bit about how you came to be in Nepal. I mean, just a little bit about your background and how long you've been in development, that kind of thing.
Well, as you can probably tell, I'm an Australian from my accent. It's very hard to lose the Australian accent for some people. For many years I was a teacher, and you know, they talk about a midlife crisis. So about 8 years ago I decided to get into development. And my first job was with ADRA in Papua New Guinea. And we lived there for 3 years, and it got a little bit too dangerous for the family, so then we got a transfer through the ADRA network, which is in about 120 countries, to come here to Nepal. So it's our 4th year here. So
4 years, okay.
Yeah.
And tell us a bit about ADRA. I mean, what are your kind of primary program areas? What parts of the country are you working in? And really, what are you trying to do in Nepal?
Well, ADRA is quite a big network as far as a worldwide footprint, and it's around over 120 countries. And every ADRA chooses its own focus area. So ADRA Nepal is focused in health for many years, and we also do education, livelihoods, and good governance. And we're moving into climate change because we feel that is an area that can affect the communities. We are in about 25 districts in Nepal, centred mainly in the mid and far west of Nepal.
What's your modality of working? Do you have local partners? Do you work with the government? How do you actually implement your programs?
Well, as an INGO, we all have to work through local partners. Sometimes that partner is a local NGO, sometimes it's community groups, and sometimes it's the government. We support the government to do their programs in each district. So depending on the program, we have around 11 local partners, as well as working with the government in all of our districts.
Give us an example. It sounds like you're doing integrated development work,
yep.
But give the audience an example of what you would do in a village or VDC.
Okay, for an example, our largest program at the moment is funded through ADRA Japan, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Japan. And it's an integrated program working in health. The main part of that is building birthing centres in 3 districts of Dailek, Calicut and Jajakot next year. For example, in Calicut we're building 5 birthing centres in very remote areas, and just next month I'm going to open one of those birthing centres where I have to drive for two days to get to Calicut, and then also walk another 2 days from the nearest road to the birthing centre. Along with that, the infrastructure, which is very important in these areas. We're providing equipment, but also training to local nurses and A&Ms. We also give some capacity building to the management committee of that birthing centre, so it's more sustainable as well. So along with infrastructure, equipment, training and skilled birth attendants, we feel that that gives an integrated program for health. That's in health.
And how did you determine where you needed to have birthing centres? I mean, do you work with the local people? Yeah. How do you...
We coordinate with government in all of our programs. So we have just been talking to, for next year, for the end of this year's program is in Jarjikot district. We have had a lot of discussion with the local district health officer and integrated our plans in their strategic plans. So they tell us at the local district level where our program is going to be implemented.
Who are some of your partners, and what are they trying to focus on?
We work with RIMS, we work with Rupantharan, we work with IRDC in Drenni, we work with BASE, and if I keep going like that, I'm sure to miss someone and others. Yeah. So some of these are local district partners, NGOs, and some of them have a wide footprint, like for example BASE, which works in many districts.
And what's the process in terms of choosing your partners?
We like to continue our partnership with the current partners, because we feel that is any sort of partnership deserves some longevity. But if we're doing a new program, we'll do an assessment of partners in a local district through an assessment program. We have a full criteria that we need to work with, and it just sort of works from there. So we contact local partners, we talk to our current partners and see if there's others in other districts. So it's a very open process.
Or what kinds of changes have you seen, or have you seen changes in development?
Development used to be very top-heavy, donor-orientated. The donor decides where the money goes, and that's what is done. There's a lot of, not so much force, but it's really donor-driven. I feel these days it's much more directed from the grassroots up. There's a lot more opportunity that donors are giving to local organisations to put submissions in for different programs. And I know that most donors have only a small part that's aimed at INGOs. Much of it goes through government, and much of it can be open to local NGOs, local organisations.
Simon, can you tell us a little bit about your education program?
ADRA has had a long partnership with many education facilities around Nepal. We work to reduce child labour. One of the government aims is to get every child to have primary school education, and they're doing a great job in that. And we assist local government schools in that area. We get money from donors all around the world, and we provide money for school fees, uniforms, stationery and things like that. And it goes straight to the school or to the family, and it helps the child to stay in the programs. We work with around 22 different government schools, and we have around 400 to 450, depending on the year, of students that are assisted through our sponsorship program.
Are the schools in different districts, or?
Mainly in the Kathmandu Valley, but also down in near Rupandey.
नमस्कार, म दीक्षा थापा, म कक्षा 10 मा अध्ययनरत छात्रा हुँ। मेरो विद्यालयको नाम श्री खकना जनमाध्यमिक विद्यालय हो। यो एड्रा नेपालको सहयोगले चाहिँ नि मैले पढ्नमा एकदम सहयोग पाएको छु। मैले स्टेशनरी सामानहरुदेखि लिएर ड्रेसहरु र भर्ना फिस पनि तिर्दिने भएकाले मेरो फ्यामिलीले एकदम राहत पुगेको छ। त्यसप्रति म एड्रा नेपाललाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु।
नमस्कार, मेरो नाम बिना थापा, म सेती देवी गाविस वार्ड नम्बर 8 अनि टोलको नाम पूजाकोटमा बस्छु। एड्रा नेपालबाट त्यो हाम्रो नानीलाई 2 क्लासदेखि नै त्यो सहयोग भयो। त्यो स्टेशनरी सामानदेखि लिएर अब ड्रेसहरु हैन, जुत्ताहरु अब सबै सहयोग गर्नुभएको छ। पहिला अब हाम्रो श्रीमानको जागिर पनि थिएन, अब मेरो पनि केही काम थिएन। पहिला अब गाह्रै परेको थियो, अनि त्यो एड्रा नेपालले सहयोग गरे। 2 वर्ष नि मलाई त्यो ड्रेस किन्न पनि अलि गाह्रो पर्यो। त्यति बेला अब कमाइ थिएन, आय स्रोत थिएन। अनि त्यसपछि अब 2 क्लासदेखि एड्रा नेपालले चाहिँ सहयोग गर्नुभयो। त्यति बेलादेखि चाहिँ मलाई अनि सजिलो भयो। अनि अब एड्रा नेपाललाई म अर्को पनि एउटा रिक्वेस्ट गर्न चाहन्छु। अब हाम्रो अब यो बच्चाहरूलाई 10 क्लाससम्म त उहाँहरूले अब सहयोग गर्नुभयो। त्यस्तै गरी अब अब 12सम्म पनि उहाँहरूले केही सहयोग गरिदिनु भयो नि अनि हामीले त्यसपछिको त्यो बिए लेभलको लागि चाहिँ हामी अब जिम्दिन यताउति आफ्नो मिहिनेतले भ्याएसम्म चाहिँ अनि गर्थ्यौँ। उहाँले 12सम्म चाहिँ त्यस्तै अहिले यस्तै गरेर गरिदिनु भयो नि हामीलाई चाहिँ धेरै सहयोग मिल्थ्यो हाम्रो अब सानो निम्न स्तरको मान्छेहरूलाई यही भन्न चाहन्छु म।
नमस्कार, मेरो नाम कान्तु लामा। म काठमाडौँ जिल्ला 8 नम्बर वडामा बस्छु। एड्रा नेपालबाट चाहिँ 2 कक्षाबाट अहिले 10औँसम्म पढ्नलाई धेरै राम्रो सहयोग पाएको छु र धेरै खुसी छु। म एड्रा नेपालदेखि धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु।
नमस्कार, मेरो नाम विजय मगर हो। म कक्षा 9मा पढ्ने छात्र हो। एड्रा नेपालले चाहिँ मलाई 6 कक्षादेखि चाहिँ सहयोग गर्दै आउनु भइरहेको छ। एड्रा नेपालबाट चाहिँ जुत्ता, मोजा, लुगा, स्टेसनरी, कलम, किताबदेखि सबै पाइरहेको छु।
मेरो नाम राजाराम बोहरा। म स्कुलको प्रधान अध्यापक। आर्थिक अवस्था कमजोर भएका अभिभावकहरूले आफ्ना छोराछोरीहरूलाई राम्रोसँग पढाउन पाएका छन् र कक्षा 10सम्म सम्पूर्ण रूपमा खास गरी स्टेसनरी, पोसाक, स्कुल फी र केही पुस्तकहरूमा पनि एड्रा नेपालको सहयोग उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ मिलेको छ विद्यार्थीहरूलाई। र यो छात्रवृत्तिपछि विद्यार्थीहरू अलि उत्साहित पनि छन्, पढ्नुपर्छ भन्ने भावना पनि उनीहरूमा जागृत भएको मैले पाएको छु।
नमस्कार, मेरो नाम कमला विष्ट हो। म यस श्री सेतीदेवी गाविसको वडा नम्बर 7मा बस्छु। जब एड्रा नेपाल यस क्षेत्रमा सुरु गर्यो त्यसपछि कुनै पनि विद्यार्थीहरू पढ्न लेख्नबाट वञ्चित हुनु परेन। सबैलाई एड्रा नेपालले समेट्दै ल्यायो र त्यस्ता आर्थिक विपन्नता भएकाहरूलाई उहाँहरूको सहयोगबाट उनीहरूलाई आवश्यक पर्ने सम्पूर्ण सामानहरूको उहाँहरूले तयारी गरिदिनु भयो र यसबाट यस क्षेत्रका अभिभावकहरू, विद्यार्थीहरू र हामी गाउँमा बस्ने सम्पूर्ण मानिसहरूदेखि लिएर यस विद्यालयका सम्पूर्ण स्टाफहरू पनि एड्रा नेपालप्रति ज्यादै आभारी भयौँ।
मेरो नाम सन्दिष्ट हो। म कक्षा 7मा पढ्छु। मेरो स्कुलको नाम बाल सुधार माध्यमिक विद्यालय हो। मलाई एड्रा नेपालको सहयोगले मलाई मेरो परिवारलाई हाम्रो सहयोग पुगेको छ। हाम्रो एड्रा नेपालले गर्दा मेरो र मेरो परिवारलाई कपी, कलम आदि सब सामग्री स्कुल पढ्न चाहिने सामग्रीहरू निःशुल्क रूपमा प्राप्त भएको छ। मलाई एड्रा नेपालले ड्रेस, ब्याग, जुत्ता, मोजा, कलम, कटर, कपी, जुत्ता आदि निःशुल्क रूपमा दिएको छ।
मेरो नाम सबिना नेपाली हो। म कक्षा 6मा पढ्छु। मेरो स्कुलको नाम श्री बाल सुधार माध्यमिक विद्यालय हो। मलाई एड्रा नेपालले सहयोग गरेर धेरै सहयोग पुगेको छ। एड्रा नेपालले मलाई किताब, कापी तथा स्टेसनरीको सामान साथै ड्रेस, जुत्ता, मोजा, ब्यागहरू सबै निःशुल्क रूपमा दिनुभएको छ। उहाँहरूको सहयोगले मैले शिक्षा प्राप्त गर्न सकेको छु। उहाँहरूलाई म धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु।
मेरो नाम कल्पना नेपाली हो। बाँसबारी वडा नम्बर 9 सेतीदेवी गाविस। एड्रा नेपालले सहयोग नहुँदाखेरि अब हामीलाई एकदम गाह्रो भएको थियो होइन। अब ड्रेसहरू हामीले दिन सक्ने स्थिति थिएन, कापी कलमहरू, किताबहरू हामीले स्थिति थिएन। उहाँहरूले सहयोग गर्नु भइरहेको छ। अब हाम्रो एकदम स्थिति कमजोरी छ। उहाँहरूले सहयोग गर्नुभएको छ एड्रा नेपालले र हामीलाई एकदम खुसी लागिरहेछ।
म परशुराम घिमिरे र आड्रा नेपालको सहयोगमा उहाँहरूले पछि एउटा ट्रेनिङ प्रोग्राम ल्याउनु भयो। त्यो पछि चाहिँ मान्छेहरू अलिक जागरुक भए। जसले त्यो तालिम प्राप्त गर्नुभएको छ उहाँहरूले चाहिँ स्रोतको खोजी गर्न थाल्नुभयो। उहाँहरूको आफ्नो आवश्यकता के हो, त्यसलाई स्रोत कहाँ पाइन्छ, त्यसको खोजी गर्न थाल्नुभयो र अहिले चुनौती परियोजनाको रूपमा उहाँहरूले 10वटा परियोजना चलाइरहनु भएको छ। त्यसमा चाहिँ लाग्ने लागत कहाँबाट जुटाउने भनेर उहाँहरू धेरैचोटि बताउनुभयो। हामीले पनि त्यो योजनाहरूलाई मूल्याङ्कन गरेर आवश्यक देखिएका योजनाहरूमा हाम्रो स्रोतले भ्याएसम्म विनियोजन गरेका छौँ।
Why do you feel that that's an important modality? That is, working with local people as opposed to, I guess, the other way that it used to be is where it was top-heavy, and donors came in and said, this is what you need to do, kind of thing.
In my small travels around in different countries, you can always see examples where obviously something has been donor-driven and it's just sitting there, it's not being used, there's no sustainability and there's no ownership. So maintenance is not a high priority. So if someone gives you something and you don't really need it, even you and I, it'll sit on a shelf, just like anything in development. It might sit in a shelf in a community. Whereas if I really need something and I've worked for it and I've put my own money and my own time into it, it'll be much more useful and it'll be more utilised in the community. And you can see that in the way that programs are shifting these days.
Okay. What are you trying to achieve with good governance and what kinds of organisations are you working with?
ADRA is very proud of our good governance program. We call it the ROLDP, Result Orientated Leadership Development Program. And we basically put that into all of our programs. It's a cross-cutting issue. We go in and we allow the community at the grassroots level to choose what we call a challenge project. And a challenge project is something that the community, it's a little bit high, it's something to aim for, it's a goal to aim for. And through developing that challenge project, we teach them about budgeting and project management and leadership, and we network them with the local government. So we provide a little bit of seed money, tiny amount of money, and then they use their network and their government links to access local funds. So it might be just providing toilets for a local community, up to a road and bridges and community centres and schools. So it's a really good program, and it's really focused here in Darting, but we've just had notice yesterday that ADRA Australia are continuing that for another 5 years.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
It's a really good idea.
And does ADRA try to influence policy at all, or policy development?
We, along with the grassroots partners that we work with right down to individual people, teaching them to read and write, we also work at a national level. For example, we work with UNFPA and the Ministry of Health and Population and the Family Health Division, and we're currently working on spreading the protocol and clinical methods to reduce uterine prolapse, and how uterine prolapse is treated and surgery is done in health facilities in Nepal. So that's at a national level where we organise regional workshops, and we're getting much higher level in government input into these protocols.
Do you actually have ADRA staff in the field, or is it more just the local partners that you're working through? How does...
ADRA works in 25 districts, but we only have around 30 staff. So there's no way that we can work implementing our own programs. So we have one project coordinator that might be working with the local partner. We did an estimate last year, and we estimate there's around 200 to 300 people working in our programs, but yet ADRA only has just over 20. Small staff, managing staff and coordinating with the donors. So most of the work is done by the local partner.
And that's the way ADRA works in every country that you're working in? Or how?
No. Because Nepal has certain rules and regulations for INGOs, we always implement with local partners. There are some countries like that, Cambodia, Mongolia, have these sort of programs. But there's many other countries. For example, the previous ADRA where I worked in Papua New Guinea, we worked specifically with the local grassroots. We could implement our own programs. We still work with local partners, but we also had our own staff and programs.
And ADRA has somewhat of a religious bent to it, or no? And how does that kind of play in, or doesn't it at all?
Well, ADRA, ADRA, stands for Adventist Development and Relief Agency. And it's part of the worldwide Seventh-day Adventist Church. But as part of its vision statement and mission statements, we work with all people, no matter what ethnic, religious or caste or age, gender. You know, we have no differentiation between these people.
There's no discrimination.
No, there's no discrimination. And we don't have any sort of religious work as far as our partners go.
Is it just that, does the funding come from the church then? Is that how it works?
Well, most of our funding comes from government donors,
okay.
But as you may know and your listeners may know, most donors require a match fund.
Yeah.
So they might give 80% with 20% for a match. That matching funds are basically funds that ADRA gets from church members around the world. So we work with about 9 different ADRA donors.
Okay.
You know, ADRA USA, ADRA Australia, New Zealand, Japan, you know, all these ADRA offices get their matching funds from church people that have donated the funds through the church.
What message would you want to leave our viewers with, you know, about the work that ADRA is doing, about development work?
You know, ADRA is a part of the Association of INGOs in Nepal. I think that as an INGO, all of us in the INGO world want to assist Nepal, and all of our work is there to help the people, the poor, the vulnerable, the needy, the sick in Nepal. And sometimes people feel that the INGOs don't want to do that, but I can tell you now that everyone that I've met in the INGO world, their primary focus is to helping the poor and the needy of Nepal. And I would encourage anyone, if they've got questions, to actually contact any of the INGOs, any of the development partners, and I guarantee that people will assist you in what you want to know.
Thanks.
No, thank you.
Thank you.